In the next few minutes, we're going to create our own custom WordPress plugin. Best of all, we don't need any coding knowledge. I'm assuming that we all have basic WordPress understanding of how it's structured and so on. You also might need to pause this video or watch it again, as I will go fairly quickly. Let's go across to my screen. The first thing is I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code, so please download it for your local computer. You can get that from code.visualstudio.com. I've installed WordPress, just a very basic version, the default version of WordPress on my local computer. I happen to have installed it using Xampp, where I can run the install on my local computer. However, you might be running your WordPress on your HostGator, GoDaddy, SiteGround, whatever host you have, and that's absolutely fine. There is my out-the-box WordPress instance, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a banner up the top of the screen in red with some words on it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a plugin folder. We don't need to create any files. We'll just create the plugin folder, and that in WordPress is under WP Content Plugins. I'll create a folder. So I'm just going to go to New Folder, and I can call this anything I want. I'll just call this, oopsie, Barry's plugin. But yeah, use your own naming convention. Importantly, what I do now is I'm going to alternate click on my new plugin, and because I've installed VS Code, I can click Open with Code. VS Code has now opened. What we'll see is on the left-hand side, we can see the Explorer, and this will show what's in that folder we've opened, the various files and so on. Of course, we haven't created any files, and we'll make sure that AI does that for us. On the main screen, we'll be able to see the content of the files, and on the right-hand side, particularly at the bottom, that's important. There's some chat where we can give instructions and feedback, etc., and chat with AI. If you don't see the chat or if you don't see the Explorer, just click View and you'll be able to select your option. What I've done, because my typing's pretty slow, I've written out the instruction I'm going to give to AI to generate this plugin for us, the content, the code for the plugin. Let me just read through it. Please create a WordPress plugin. I want a horizontal banner at the top of my website on every page and post. The text on the banner must say, sorry, I don't know why I've got determined there, must say, good morning, if it's morning in the visitor's time zone. Good afternoon, if it's between noon and 5 p.m. and hope your evening is going well, if it's after 5 p.m. and before midnight. The banner must have a dark red background and white text bold. Make the text 30 point. Of course, be as specific as you can, as we would whenever we're using generative AI. So I'll just copy that. Let's go back to code, VS Code, and in the chat screen at the bottom, I've got a little bit of an error there, so I'll get rid of that. In the chat screen at the bottom, I'm just going to paste my instruction and I'll click Enter. AI or Gen AI in VS Code is now going to create our folder structure for our plugin within that folder we created and the various files. It's also going to create the content for those files. Just a few things about this code at the bottom. We've got the auto, and I recommend you leave it on auto, but you might be able to use various different specific generative AI models if you want to, such as Claude, GPT 4.1, but auto generally works well. So let's just go back. What it's done is it's now created the plugin that we need, and any additional files. I'm going to click Keep, and we can keep chatting with it if we need to. I won't do that for now. I'm going to click Control S to save, and I'll just click the little down arrow next to Gary's plugin just to see if there are any files that have come up or folders. Not in this case, but often CSS will be added, JavaScript and so on, just depending on the functionality you want. Let's now go back to our WordPress install. So we're expecting to see a red banner up the top. I'll go into my WordPress dashboard, go to plugins, because of course I need to enable this new plugin that has been added. And we can see one there that's been called Gary's Time Greeting Banner. Let me activate that. Let me go back to my WordPress instance. I'm going to just refresh the screen, and there we go. And at the moment here in Brisbane, Australia, it is morning. So it says, good morning. Of course, we can go back to VS Code and add different functionality, change it as needed, and so on. But thanks for joining me, and please subscribe to this channel and like this video.